Welcome to the final chapter. Let's talk about why I have called this season a Milan telenovela. It's because I genuinely don't think that you could even write such a script if you tried. And actually, if you did, I don't think anyone would believe you. The things that have happened this year have been pretty mind blowing as a Milan fan. In this final chapter, I will highlight the most damning parts of the season, but then move on to where I think the blame lies, but also try to suggest how the fan base could come back together and move forwards. The timeline of events. 1st of December, Maldini grants an explosive interview to La Repubblica, explaining his exit from AC Milan. 11th of December, Zlatan Ibrahimovic becomes senior advisor to Redbird. 10th of January, Milan get knocked out of the Coppa d'Italia by Atalanta, the first series opponent. 20th of January, Serie A match. Racism rears its awful ugly head in Serie A again, when Magnan faces racist abuse. 18th of April, Milan exit the Europa League after De Rossi understands that blocking our left flank confuses Pioli. 22nd of April, Milan, as the nominated home team, lose 2-1 and give up the title to Inter. 27th of April, after days of rumours that Julian Lopetegui is to be Milan's new manager, a petition is raised to stop it. Ownership are scared off. Ultras finally react with anger. Spend some time to talk a little bit more about some of those topics on the timeline. So 20th of January 2024, Magnan faced monkey chants whilst playing in the game against Udinese. Referee Maresca tried to ignore the issue and wave it off. Magnan did the right thing in my opinion. He walked off and made a stance. And what was great about this event is that our team surrounded him and protected him. I would like to point everyone to episode 43, Teen Titans in Milanista 360, where we had an excellent discussion on the topic. These events, I'll be honest, hit me hard. I did get quite emotional, but I have to say and name these guys: Gio, Fabio, Andon, Hazni and Shane, and following that, Colin and Nico. You guys showed me why we have the best fan base in the world. Equally, I have to say something that has been on my mind the whole year. If you deny it, you are complicit. If you ignore it, you are complicit. If you downplay it, you are complicit. Of course, we have to talk about this. 22nd of April 2024, as the nominated home team, we lose 2-1 and give up the title to Inter. Pioli's 6th straight derby loss, giving them their 20th title on match day 33 with 5 games to spare. For me, finishing second by the best part of 20 points is beyond appalling. For me, losing 6 straight derbies is unacceptable and warranted immediate dismissal. To my personal dismay, Pioli was kept on, and I felt that this was a very loud message that ownership and management would send to the fan base about where they stood. I believe that this was the point where those who tried so hard to trust in this project finally saw the light. The ultras also finally woke up. In my opinion, too little too late, and some of the messaging too threatening, explaining once again why they will never represent me. For his part, Pioli, prior to the match, had admitted that he felt he had tried absolutely everything in different games against Inter, but they've always been too strong. Now, I just want to say something about Pioli, and this is one of the last things I'm going to say about him. If I was to ask you, season in and season out, who our biggest rivals for Serie A titles are, I'm sure that all Milanisti would say Inter and Juventus. So I decided to look back and look at our performances over the last 5 years that he's been in charge against these opponents, because this demonstrates why Pioli's reign simply had to be over. And please, I don't want anyone in the future to say, be careful what you wish for. To put it simply, Pioli's record in numbers during his time with Milan, against Inter in all games, he won 21% of games and lost 53%. Against Juventus, he won 18% matches and lost 62%. So just keep this in mind. Against these top two opponents, our average win ratio is about 20%, or 1 in 5 games. Pioli's time is over. It's been this way since last autumn, in my opinion. No one will change my mind on that. But he knew last summer that if he stayed, he would become the scapegoat. There was no way out. And as we know, he has now been released. Of course, it wouldn't be right to do a final chapter and not bid farewell to incredible club servants. Olivier Giroud. This is being recorded prior to the final game against Salernitana. He had scored 48 goals, 20 assists, and I hope he scores another one tonight or more. In 131 matches. Simon Kjær, Denmark's captain, my personal opinion, a hero in what he did in those Euros in saving Eriksen's life. Played centre-back, played 120 matches for us. They've paid their dues, they carry their duties with honour. They were both part of the Scudetto season, and in my mind, they will always be remembered as solid additions to the squad. I bid you both farewell, and I wish you best of luck in your new ventures, in your new lives. I am not here to bash Pioli anymore. His time with us is over. That has been confirmed. I am here to talk about why the Curva has been running demonstrations, why the fan base is a hot mess, why personally I took the decision to step away from weekly podcasting. The crux of the matter, in my opinion, ownership and management. The club is being run by people who know a lot about business. I won't deny that, but they know absolutely nothing about football. And by that, I mean calcio. With every turn, with every decision, with every comment, they demonstrate why they are unable to cope with a club of our importance and history, and how to treat it, and the fans in the manner it should. The key word that not many people talk about is dishonesty. Please do not pretend to understand the history of the club if you really do not know it, or rather, you don't care. Please do not come out to the press or speak in conferences to say that you are a winner, that no one wants to win more than you, because we do. Please do not create phantom positions that do not exist at professional clubs. Positions like Ibra's role of advisor to Redbird. To me, that reads private concubine to Jerry Cardinale, which is both sad and embarrassing. Please just tell us the truth instead of pretending that you want Milan at the top of the tree. My opinion, for what it's worth, is that this ownership has no such wish. Trophies are not even on their agenda, and everything they did this year shows it, and they show that the bottom line for them is cold, hard cash. So let's take a well-known business philosophy. Let's stick to business. One of the most popular business philosophies is that the way you work starts from the top. And at the top of our tree is Jerry Cardinale, a man who has attended more investor conferences than games at the San Siro. A man who doesn't believe in getting to know the players, but that brought in Ibrahimovic as his personal shopping assistant. I'd like some silence so that we may listen to some of his wise words.
Look at teams in Madrid, in France, and in the Netherlands. And I'm not looking at the big teams. I don't think you'll ever see me write a check to go buy Chelsea or one of those. You know, AC Milan is where it is, the second most Champions League trophies in history behind Real Madrid because of Silvio Berlusconi. Well, you know, the way he did that, you can't do anymore. But who would know European football and who would know AC Milan better than this guy, right? And the added benefit, this is the greatest team player I have ever met. If it's the same 3 or 4 teams every year that wins everything, that's just, I personally think that, you know, long term, when you step back and look at the health of the ecosystem and you look at valuations, they're just going to be less valuable.
The lies, the firings, the embarrassing comments demonstrating a complete and utter lack of knowledge have now set fire to the fan base. No ownership with any self-respect, or should I say, respect for the club they own, would have acted to suck ambition out of the veins of the fans. AC Milan is, right now, a circus. Our opponents are making decisive moves on the coaching side and on player acquisitions, whilst we are standing still. Management and ownership are burning our dreams to the ground, and they stand and watch with glee. Apparently, they don't even understand why fans are not on board with plans to hire a coach based primarily on wage demands, why several of our players are also clearly talking to clubs about leaving. Because the truth is, why would you stay? What is this project? And more importantly, probably than any of this, if you were a young child looking for a club to support, why would you choose this? Then I spent some time to think about how could the fan base come back together. Truth is, it's up to the owners. I think we all need some honesty. Consistent messaging that comes from the top all the way through to the bottom. A message such as, we're here as the custodians of the club. We cannot share the same ambition as the fan base because we do not have the resources. However, we will ensure that the club is in solid financial footing going forward, so new owners will return you to where you all belong. But then, this is not enough. It has to be backed with actions. First, put management in place who truly understand Serie A. Currently, we do not have an experienced sporting director. After Frederic Massara was let go, ownership were told by the league that they had to appoint a sporting director to fit with the regulations of the league. In keeping with the typical penny-pinching approach of Redbird, they decided to give it to Antonio D'Ottavio, who had only graduated from FIGC's sporting director program in 2022. A serious club needs to have an experienced sporting director. Put in a professional management structure and trust those people to do the best for the club. Then there is the important question of the playing staff. As a Milan fan, I want to see players brought in who understand what it means to wear the jersey. Players who will never come off that pitch having hardly tried. Now, some of you will know, throughout the season, I listened and took notes on Pioli's pre- and post-game press conferences. Pioli, in one particular interview before the second Europa League fixture against Roma, threw Leao under the bus. He said that Leao had never engaged in the first leg of the match. This was the reason why he was played in the intervening, meaningless Serie A game, risking injury. I never, ever want to hear that again. A Milan player should understand to their core what this club means to us. Now, that doesn't mean that we have to get rid of the entire squad. But you know what? I don't blame those fans who, in the heat of the moment, raged that everyone should be up for sale and then asked for Italian replacement. I understand it. In fact, after Inter won the Scudetto by beating us at home, I saw and heard Pippo Inzaghi tell Forlani that he should consider more Italians in the squad, as they will have a better understanding of the meaning of such matches. At the very minimum, we need to have someone there who instills that Milanismo in the players. And Ibra is not it. I cannot watch a team stroll around the pitch to defeat. I cannot watch a Milan team where I have no idea how each game will be approached. I cannot watch a team that has less passion for the institution than I have. That is not Milan. It is not Milan. This is not Milan. To Redbird, it's as if, let's just say, if you are listening, show me this summer that you've understood your mission, your limitations, and most importantly, let me hear some honesty. To the fans, to me it's mad, so mad, to hear Milanisti hating each other. Stop cussing each other. Stop calling each other fake fans. Stop pretending that any of you are better than any other. Why does every comment have to be tinged with hatred? You can love the club but dislike ownership. You can love the club and dislike management. They're just custodians and people passing through. Milan is forever. Forza Milan.